Hello everyone and welcome to Felix's weekly space bulletin. Get the lowdown on all things spacey here with Felix, your not-so-roving reporter. We had an action-packed week with lots to talk about, including tons of things going on at the Starbase launch site in preparation for the second orbital test flight, the final Ariane 5 launch, the launch of ESA's Euclid telescope, Falcon 9 launches, plus much more. If any of that sounds interesting to you, make sure to keep watching and like and subscribe. First up this week, we've got lots of updates from the Starbase launch site. SpaceX teams are full steam ahead in preparations for the second orbital test flight. On the evening of July 1st, the central water-cooled steel plate was rolled from the production site to the launch site. At around the same time, the ship quick disconnect was also moved to the launch site and then reinstalled a bit higher to accommodate the new hot stage ring, which will soon be added to the future boosters. Also on the 1st of July, teams lifted the final third level section of the second mega high bay. Then the first section of level 4 was moved to the ring yard, which was then lifted and installed on the 7th of July. Then another section for the level 4 was moved to the ring yard on July 9th, today, ready for installation soon. The second load of concrete pouring began in the early hours of July 3rd. According to CSI Starbase on Twitter, there was 132 truckloads of concrete poured on June 25th, and then another 171 truckloads poured on July 3rd. That's around 5,411 tons of concrete. On the morning of July 4th, scaffolding started to be removed from the orbital launch mount, which is a good sign for space fans who want to see another launch in a few weeks. On the 5th, a payload door was lifted into place on Ship 28, and the center water-cooled steel plate was moved closer towards the orbital launch mount, ready to be installed. It was then flipped vertically and placed onto the stand designed to help it move under the OLM and into place. It was then lifted off of the stand once it was under the launch table and finally installed into place. Over the next few days, the other three parts of the water-cooled plates were moved to the launch site. These were then installed on the 8th of July. Then, just a few hours ago, the Y pipe, which will eventually supply water to two of the three plates, was lifted into place, ready for installation. But what is the purpose of these steel plates? Once the plates are all connected and set up during launch, water will spray upwards towards the booster engines. Theoretically, this will protect the launch mount and the concrete underneath it, which was quite a large problem during the first launch. Ryan Hansen Space has the perfect thread on Twitter with awesome animations telling us all about them. Check out his Twitter for more information. Elon Musk still hasn't scheduled another Starship Twitter Spaces, but hopefully he will do so as a mini update before the next launch. Now, enough of Starship, onto some other space news. On July 1st, a Falcon 9 lifted off from Cape Canaveral with the European Space Agency's Euclid telescope. According to the European Space Agency, this telescope is designed to explore the composition and evolution of the dark universe. SpaceX had another amazing launch and SpaceX's 209th successful landing. SpaceX had yet another launch on the 7th, a Starlink launch. I won't talk much about it, they happen so regularly these days. But it was another successful launch and landing. SpaceX has another Falcon 9 launch tomorrow. On July 5th, the Ariane 5 rocket lifted off for the final time carrying 2 satellites. Space News made an amazing article on their site about Ariane 6's delays towards 2024, and SpaceX's Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy needing to pick up the slack left behind by Ariane 5 and Ariane 6. Check out that article on their website. Rocket Lab has another launch and landing recovery coming up. The Baby Come Back mission is where they'll be attempting to recover their booster from the ocean. I'll let you know how that goes in next week's episode. That's all we have time for this week. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And a special thank you to my patrons David, Roger, Michael, Alexander, Ed, and Jen. Thanks for watching. See you next week.